Hello, my name is Jocelyn Quirple, and I'm here with,
Peter Schoenhals.
and we will be presenting our Tech in the Classroom presentation on microteaching.
So all of us as teachers have a desire to see all of our students achieve high levels of success. Some of the ways that teachers have tried to improve in the past include observation of another teacher's classroom or some self-reflection on their own performance. Today, though, we're going to be discussing a method that we think is even more effective than these, and that is microteaching. That involves some of the audiovisual resources we have available today and provides a way for an aspiring teacher to learn from the wisdom and experience of an older mentor teacher. Today, Jocelyn and I would like to provide for you a brief overview of the microteaching process. First, we will define microteaching in detail and give a little history and other background information. Then we'll look at what an actual process of a microteaching session would look like in real life. And finally, we'll discuss some of the impacts and the benefits that researchers have found that come from participating in microteaching for teachers, which will help boost student learning and achievement in turn.
To begin, we are going to look at a basic definition of microteaching. In general, microteaching is a teacher training and faculty development technique whereby the teacher reviews a recording of a teaching session in order to get a constructive feedback from peers and students about what has worked and what improvements can be made to their teaching technique. The main goal is to develop teaching skills. And as you heard, most of this is done in a process. This is done through teaching, critiquing, and reteaching. It focuses on growth through feedback. This is by other teachers, mostly older teachers, and it can be applied to other things beside education, such as the medical field or business. Here you see the process. To cover a bit of background, microteaching was first developed in the 1960s by Dwight Allen of the Stanford Teacher Education Program. They first came up with this as they had students preparing for internships. It was unique because of the feedback sessions that they used in short presentations and in small classrooms of 4 or 5 with their students. Finally, who participates in microteaching? This can be done in various fields as stated before. The medical profession is a major advocate for microteaching, and this is done for student teachers, new teachers, teachers reaching tenure that are looking for new ways to grow, and also veteran teachers that are looking for revolutionary ways to engage their classroom again.
Now that we have a better understanding of what microteaching actually is, let's take a look at how it would actually be set up. So different people have come up with different ideas for how microteaching should be, such as this 10-step model or this more complicated process. But what we'll be describing today is a 6-step process that Billy Remish wrote about, and it's very simply plan, teach, observe, and then replan, reteach, and reobserve. Step number 1, the plan involves, as you would expect, the teacher planning a small lesson to be taught in the microteaching environment. Here we see Mr. Schoenhals preparing a lesson about the Pythagorean theorem to teach his middle schoolers. Step 2, teach, involves the teacher teaching the lesson to a small group of students. The lesson will be recorded by video camera so it can be viewed later in the microteaching environment. Let's see how Peter does on this lesson.
Okay, so we know that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So in this triangle, what is c? Anybody? Oh no.
Step 3, observe, involves the mentor teacher taking a look at the lesson that has been taught and providing feedback about both the positive and negative aspects of it. Let's see what Jocelyn has to say about Peter's first lesson.
I feel like Peter could have done better on his presentation. He had good enthusiasm, but he needs to ask better probing questions.
Step 4, replan, involves the teacher taking into consideration the feedback that has been provided and coming up with a more improved lesson plan over the same material. Step 5, reteach, involves the same process as the teaching stage, except it should be hopefully taking into consideration what they've learned and be a better lesson. Let's see how Peter does this time.
job. So now we know that a squared is 9 and b squared is 16. So a squared plus b squared equals, everybody? That's right, 25. And then 25 is c squared, of course. And if c squared is 25, then does anyone know what c is? Yeah, Jillian. That's right, 5. So c equals 5. Great job. Now that I think you all understand this really well, we're going to play a game of Pythagorean Theorem Jeopardy to reinforce what we've learned.
In the 6th step, reobserve, the mentor teacher will take another look at the second teaching lesson and will hopefully have some more constructive comments, hopefully leading to a superior level of excellence within the classroom to ensure high levels of student achievement. Let's see what Jocelyn has to say.
Great idea, Peter. Wow, he really improved on all of those things that we talked about last time. I'm going to write him a few notes on a couple more things that we can work on.
Finally, we're going to discuss the impact of microteaching on the education community. We're going to look at some cons first, but mostly focus on the pros. Two negatives that were identified by some teachers were that it is time consuming. You could see this from our example that Peter and Jocelyn did have to take time out of their very busy teacher schedules to observe and reteach. Secondly, microteaching does not emphasize the content. Because the lessons are so short, they can focus on ideas but not the actual content of the lesson. Most teachers would say that the pros of microteaching far outweigh the negatives though. 4 that we identified were that it develops teacher skills, it enhances confidence, it increases communication among educators, and it is applicable for teachers in any stage. Some of the core skills that are developed are lesson planning. It works on time management as a teacher and covering the necessary content in a well thought out order. Secondly, presentation and explanation are very important. We heard that Jocelyn critiqued Peter on his clarity and enthusiasm. Classroom management is another, as the teachers can observe interactions with students. And another one is the appropriate use of audiovisual aids so that everything is readable and can be maximally valuable to the lesson. Here's a list of more detail on these core values. Secondly, microteaching enhances confidence. As a teacher practices and goes through and replans lessons, practice can make permanent and perfect. It is especially helpful because the teacher is teaching to other teachers, and this can help eliminate nerves. In a study that was done by grad students on student teachers, about 86 to 96% of the teachers surveyed agreed that microteaching did help boost confidence. You can see that here in our chart. Third, it does increase communication among educators. The feedback will lead to growth in community and also develop relationships between teachers that can lead to accountability in individual classrooms and at the end of the day. 4, microteaching is applicable for teachers in any stage. It's helpful for student teachers starting out, for new teachers in their first classroom, and also for veteran teachers to get out of their comfort zone.
So today we've looked at the basics of what microteaching is, we've seen an example of how the process would be carried out, and finally we've looked at some of the benefits that could come from microteaching, which we believe is an excellent way to help teachers learn and improve their students' achievement. Thanks for watching.